What is love? Is it a remembrance, a memory? Like when you were a child, your father had certain habits with regards to food, certain habits with regards to his lifestyle, a specific way of talking, a specific way of acting when he was upset, when he was not happy with something that you did. And then years later you grow up and some guy reminds you of one of those things that your father did and triggers in you the same emotion that he triggered in you when he did it. And that memory, that familiarity you call love. Or maybe your father was emotionally or physically absent, and then years later you bump into a person who you kind of like but is completely emotionally unavailable and not there for you, and that itself triggers the same wound that your father triggered in childhood and you're attracted to that. Or is it a desire? Is love a desire? A desire to have sex, to own someone, believing that they will complete parts of you where you feel incomplete, the parts of you where something is missing. They will be the answer to the missing parts of the puzzle. Or is love being able to talk to each other for hours? But then what happens when both of you enter different seasons of life, different seasons in your own respective lives, and you have nothing to talk about anymore? Then what happens? Then is it not love anymore? Or is love being able to want the same things in life, which is that both of you desire similar things from your lives, but what we desire from our lives, it changes. It changes every few years for most people. So what happens when that changes? And a desire can be very broad. For example, a desire to have children. It's like saying someone is an engineer. Many different types of personalities can have the same desire. So how does that become love? Is love seeing in someone else the deepest parts of yourself? So it's recognition. I look at you and I see the deepest, most wounded parts of myself in you that I wanted to nurture in myself and I couldn't, and nobody else did. So that recognition that you are me and I am you becomes love. But then what happens when you discover that a lot of your deepest parts may be the failings of your society or the continuation of your parents' failings, and you want to get rid of those parts, you no longer want to nurture them? Then what happens to that love? I have always been bothered with this question. Or is it similar beliefs, similar religious beliefs, similar beliefs about what a family should be and look like? Does that constitute love? But none of this is immune to change. Every single thing that I have mentioned changes through a person's life. Then what is it that we call love? I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I just have failed to understand all my life what it is. And people who get into relationships and make a commitment, and as far as I'm concerned, I love you is a commitment, not a statement necessarily of the present, but I will stand by you. What part of you are you so confident about? What part of you has remained unchanged for all of your life that propels you into making this commitment to another person, feeling that this part is not going to change. I have always wondered, I have failed to find a good answer to this question, what love is. And the second question, where does it begin and where does it end? Does love begin when somebody is considerate to you and it ends when they start being selfish? Does it begin when somebody provides for you materialistically and it ends when they either choose to not do that or they cannot do that? Or it begins when somebody is very kind to you, but then it ends when they are unkind, as it should. But then a lot of people are kind to people who they want something from. You will almost never find a person, even the unkindest psychopath in this world is kind to someone who they want something from. So it's possible that you spend 20 years with a man when he is very kind to you, because for those 20 years he has wanted to keep you around, and then suddenly he becomes very unkind. Is love based on clarity of mind? So you have very clear thoughts and I have very clear thoughts and we decide to walk together in the same direction. But then it has to end when, for example, mental illness clouds one person's mind. Alzheimer's or any other form of age-related disease. Where does this begin and where does it end? And when is it okay to say, okay, I want to leave this person to die at this point. I am no longer going to care about them. But what I had for them was still love. When, at what point does this become a fair statement to make? It's all so confusing. Can someone tell me?